sentenced to prison after pleading guilty.
I was addicted to opiates. I took a wrong path.
But the biggest shock is what Jacqueline Ferris says happened once she got to Logan Correctional Center.
He exposed himself to me, told me to get on my knees. I started giving him oral.
But the path to reporting wasn't easy.
I don't think that this is the only case where prison guards are alleged to have done something that they knew better than to do.
And the fight still isn't over.
It is traumatizing for me. I feel like I'm reliving it every single time that I tell the story. I often wake up gasping for air at night.
Tonight, an exclusive investigation into the alleged attack, criminal trial, and why the former guard charged with misconduct could have it wiped off his record. WAD News has been following this story for close to 2 years. WAD's Darren Mullen sat down with Jacqueline Ferris and the attorney for Eric Kohlerus for an investigation you'll only see here. We want to warn you, though, some of the things you're about to hear might not be suitable for all viewers.
The small talk turned into undress, can I see a little something, sexual innuendos. He exposed himself to me. I didn't scream or yell. I just remember feeling really gross.
Jacqueline Ferris is waiting.
I want to see someone being held accountable for this.
In December of 2015, while serving time for drug charges in Logan Correctional Center,
I took a wrong path.
She says now former correctional officer Eric Kohlerus raped her in the prison laundry room.
I don't think that anyone's prepared for it until it happens, and then I was so stuck.
She says she reported what happened that same day. 2 days later, Eric Kohlerus left the Department of Corrections.
Eric has maintained that Ms. Ferris manipulated him, cajoled him, if you will, into doing something that he knew better than to do.
Ferris originally reported the encounter was consensual, something she says prison staff pressured her to say.
I was nervous because I did brush my teeth and he didn't ejaculate inside of me. So I thought, what if they find nothing? So the investigator has the box, which contains my underwear and the rape kit and everything that they've done. So he was like, if this box does not say that he raped you, you're gonna get more time.
By speaking up, Ferris says she had to do more time. She was planning to go to a boot camp program for first-time offenders that would have taken years off her sentence. But Ferris says IDOC didn't allow her to move forward with that program.
That was one of the things that he told me, if I tell, that I will not go to boot camp. And he was right about that.
That makes no sense. Think about it for a moment. It's not exactly news to anyone that it's illegal for a guard and an inmate to have sex. The idea that someone who's going to lose their job for doing that is then going to prevent the person from going to boot camp is ludicrous.
Kohlerus was eventually arrested more than 2 years after he resigned. He later pleaded guilty to 2 counts of custodial sexual misconduct.
This is much different than forcible rape cases. This is much different than child molesters. This has nothing to do with those things where there is a public safety concern for people on the outside.
In the plea, he acknowledged having sex with an inmate while working for IDOC, a felony normally requiring the guilty party to register as a sex offender. But instead of prison time, a judge in Logan County sentenced him to Veterans Treatment Court.
Assuming your client completes the full program, would he have to register as a sex offender at all?
If the conviction in this case is vacated and the charge is then dismissed, the duty to register as a sex offender would not go on with it.
Kohlerus is currently finishing out the program and is set to have the charges dismissed.
It made me feel sick because after the end of his program, he will have no conviction, like this never happened, so he can potentially work in another prison or jail and reoffend.
There's nothing about the crime of custodial sexual misconduct that has any linkage to some tendency to offend on the outside.
During sentencing last fall, Ferris saw him for the first time since that fateful December morning. She read her victim impact statement for the judge and Colress.
Was he in the room at the time?
The hardest part was that he was in the room and he was feet from me. And I just remember like him crying and his face was red and I felt almost bad, you know? Like I still felt like I was wanting to protect my perpetrator a little bit.
The legal battles aren't over for Eric Colress. Ferris is suing him and others from IDOC for damages stemming from her alleged rape. Now out of prison, she wants her story to inspire others to report sexual misconduct behind bars.
I want my voice to let other inmates know, female inmates, that, you know, you have rights. You're still a person. You're a mother, you're a daughter, a sister. You're a human being that made a mistake.
As we reported this story, we wanted to learn more about the Veterans Treatment Court program and why Colress was sentenced to it. We're able to track down the judge involved in his case, who also happens to be one of the founders of the program that covers Logan County.
Judge Charles Feeney is a former Marine. He understands many of the veterans in this program on a level few can.
These are veterans that served their country, that freely gave of their time out of their life to go serve and stand in harm's way for us. That impact manifests itself in different ways.
And Veterans Treatment Court is a way to deal with that head on, to make sure that this involvement with the criminal justice system is someone's last.
In order to qualify, veterans need to have a substance abuse or mental health issue, and the offense needs to be eligible for probation. His attorney wouldn't get into specifics, but says Colress's service in the Air Force gave him some condition that checked the first box. The charge of custodial sexual misconduct checked the second. Still, Ferris and her attorneys strongly objected.
It's typically not used in a situation like this where someone's abusing their power, especially in a situation where you have essentially a rape.
Our philosophy is that if the offense is eligible, we will consider it. Period.
I wish that we could change the law. This is going to keep happening. The way that they're handling it and nobody's being held accountable, it's going to keep happening.
As a sitting judge, Feeney cannot comment on any specific case, but neither Ferris nor her attorneys hold any ill will toward the program. They just strongly object to how it was applied in this case. According to Illinois state statute, if Colress had been charged and convicted of rape or sexual assault, he would not have been eligible in the first place. In Logan County, Darren Mullen, WAND News.
IDOC has told WAND News throughout our reporting the department cannot comment on pending litigation. WAND News also reached out to the Logan County State's Attorney's Office to get their thoughts on the case. State's Attorney did not return our request for comment.